What's up? How about a Twosun? It's been a minute. Got a few. Need to get one out of the box and see what's up. What do we got here? I have no idea. Okay, I recognize it, but I can't tell you the model number. So we will get it out of there. And hopefully I don't have to go look it up. Hopefully it's on the blade. My trusty little Grow bench knife. Been doing a good job. Lots of plastic bag and tape on that one. I think I murdered the bag. Normally I can get just that outer bag, but I got the inner bag on this one. I mean, I'm not in a super hurry to figure out what it is because you have already seen it. The model number is clearly on the video, so you've seen it. So I'm going to get rid of all this stuff. And the only one who doesn't know what it is at this point is me. Y'all know. But I'm going to wipe this initial coating off. Looks like it's got like a G10 scale on top of a G10, I'd say inlay, but it's on top of the titanium. It's got a milled titanium pocket clip. That looks pretty good. It's got a good ramp profile on the front and the back. Nice titanium backspacer. I mean, honestly, it's pretty light. It's not a heavy knife at all. All right, let's get it out of there, and hopefully the model number's there. Wow. Okay. What we got? I think it does say. It's a TS153 in D2 steel, a Wong design. Okay. Pretty nice. Only has the one deployment, the back flipper. Interesting. So you feel all of this, and it's not horrible, but you feel it all. Got like that Persian whoop. But, I mean, interesting. I think the first flick I would have said that the detent was too tight. But now after what, 6 or 7, it's starting to feel perfect. It's not hard to get in here. This is lowered a little bit. And so I'm afforded pretty good access to that lock bar. Frame lock. And the first time I did it, it was pretty stiff. This was pretty stiff. But now, I mean, it's running pretty good. I like it. Interesting on this G10. And this brown, 100% that'll dye up purple. You know, I've got some other knives that I'm thinking about dyeing up purple. This one may be a perfect candidate. Because the brown's kind of meaningless to me. It doesn't mean anything. And, you know, there's some logic to saying, well, just keep it stock. And, you know, if somebody ever wanted to buy this knife, they wouldn't want it purple. I mean, live on the edge, bro. You know what I mean? This budget piece from Twosun, I'm not too overly worried about. If somebody doesn't want it because I've changed the scales to purple, it's like, okay, I'll keep it. Yeah, it's an oily mess though. It definitely needs to come apart. Yeah, there's oily all over this thing, man. Look at it under that G10. See, this is why, I mean, great example why you got to take them apart, man. Because if you didn't take this apart and wipe all that out of there, if you bought this knife, that's coming out from underneath that G10 overlay, and it'll get on your hands, in your pocket, all over the place, man. It's gotta get cleaned off of there. And here's the thing, I don't freak out about it. I mean, I still talk about it because it's part of my channel and what I do. It's amazing how many don't, you know. But it's no different for a firearm. Man, if I buy a firearm, it comes in a plastic bag inside of a plastic case, and it's coated in oil and like storage grease. It's they're not in good shape. Now I know that there's a whole generation of gun dudes right now that when they buy a piece from their favorite gun store or gun show or wherever, and they buy some ammo and they go to a country driveway somewhere, and they pull over, they load the firearm, and they shoot it. I don't know, 5, 10 times, not a lot of times, because they only bought, 25 rounds of ammo or whatever, a box of 50, and they shoot it a few times, and then they max the clip or the weapon with rounds, and that's it. I mean, as far as they're concerned, the firearms in service, man. I mean, wow, right? And we know it happens with knives. Happens all the time with knives. And if this was a fixed blade, different story, I guess. Do you got to clean all this oil off it and stuff? No. But part of a folder like this is it's got to function. And would it function with all this oil and stuff on it? I mean, most likely, yes. But potentially, it could have a problem. But let's say that the odds of that happening are like lightning striking. All this oil and lube on here. The chances of that making the knife fail to open, because if it fails to close, it's not the end of the world, right? Failing to open is a measurable problem. Let's say it's like lightning strike. The chances of it happening are slim to none. Like this, on that show side, there's no milling on that. It's basically a rivet pin, sorta. You know what I mean? It's unmilled, makes for a clean face. I like it. But why would you want all that oil all over your hands? Same thing with a firearm. I mean, yeah, anyways, I'm not gonna beat that to death, man. I think those that hang out know exactly what's up, and especially those that have subscribed and continue to hang out. It makes sense. There's some it just makes absolutely no sense. I still get the question and the back comments, and it comes a lot. Why do you take that apart, man? And there's still manufacturers that if you take their knife apart, they void the warranty. It's like, well, I guess I'll be voiding the warranty, but I'm really going to consider whether I should buy your knife or not. I mean, if me taking it apart like this voids the warranty in it, then I mean, I probably shouldn't buy it because I'm definitely going to take it apart. I'm definitely going to clean it. It's nonsense. That would be like a gun manufacturer telling me that I can't take my gun apart to clean it. Like, what do you do if you carry this in your pocket for a month and now it's full of lint, it's full of dirt, and the manufacturer says if you take it apart, your warranty's voided. What? Yeah, bonkers. Bonkers, man. And what am I doing in here that should void the warranty? Now, I get it. Like strip screws and things like that happen. Yeah, that's true. And should they be responsible for that? I mean, there's a huge argument that says if I strip a screw taking this apart, should they be responsible? I mean, absolutely not, if you think about it. And the main reason not is because look at that pin. That pin's pretty wobbly in there. But the main reason not is because it's easy to strip these screws. If you don't have good bits, good drivers, I mean, you could easily strip out these screws and cause a problem with the knife. And so do they want to stand up to all that? You know, just give free rein and say, yeah, I mean, take it apart and mess it up and, you know, grind on, you know, go ahead, take a file and grind on that. And, you know, yeah, I get it. That, you know, manufacturers can't do that. They can't stand up to that. I mean, even the ones that I purge, I can't have people, you know, once they get it, it's like, yeah, no, you can't take it apart and then say, well, this or that. No, because I don't know what you did to it or if you're capable of it or, you know. So, I mean, I get it, but then I don't get it. You know what I mean? There's got to be limits. Yeah, there's some kind of funkiness on this D2. Boy, does that feel good right there, though. Ooh, nice. So, I mean, I get it. But I do think that most manufacturers nowadays are becoming a little more liberal with their thinking on some of that, you know, and a little more customer oriented. You know, at the end of the day, you know, most manufacturers want you happy with their product. And if something's not right with it, you know, I think they're figuring out it doesn't make sense to banter about it, you know, getting big conversations. You know, the 1% that's nonsense, it's almost better to just keep it moving. You know what I mean? Sometimes it just becomes cost of doing business. Does it cause the price of things to go up? It does because, you know, manufacturers should have to, you know, recoup that money in their sales. So if they have to add, you know, 5% to the price of their product to cover nonsense, warranty work or whatever, you know, I mean, that's what happens. And every product does it. It's not unique to the knife world in any way. Okay. I think my pivot's too tight. I think I overdid it. Boy, it is tight. The lockup on that is outstanding. I mean, I wonder if I could take a little off of that. Yeah. There we go. Yeah, that thing's coming good now. Wow. All right, let's give it a wipe down because my hand feels oily. And this G10 feels slick, which is another motivation to dye it. Because, when you dye this stuff, for some reason it tends to open the pores in it and make it more coarse. And I can tell you that this stuff here is very, very slick. So much so that, you know what? I'm going to do something to this right now. Okay, so I pulled these scales. There's the one screw still left on here, these top overlays. And I've got a steel bristled cleaning brush, like a gun cleaning brush. I'm going to rough these little overlays up a little bit. It doesn't hurt them. It's really not changing the knife in any way. And if you look close, like you can't really see that I'm doing anything to it. But, oh, I can feel it. I mean, they're just super slick. I don't know the process. I'm ignorant here. Do they take these and run them in a buffing wheel? I mean, they must. They must. Because they're so slick. I've also got some sandpaper that I could run on these, but I have used this brush a few times and it does really well. Just changes it enough to where it's not slick like glass. Yeah, the difference is really noticeable. You can't really notice it to look at it, but it does make a difference. Just scuff it up a little bit, man. Now, a couple of things with this I'm going to mention, and we'll see if I dye these scales. When I dye them, I'll mention it. But I think that if I dye these, I may come in and smooth these edges with a file. I'm not going to do it today, but if I dye these, I may do that. Yeah, big difference. But if I don't dye them, I'm just going to leave them be. But if I dye them, then I may come in and smooth these edges with a file. Let's see if I can put it back together now without having to take it completely apart. It'll be interesting to see if I can. Because that blade did move, and I can see where that pin's captured. It goes right there. There it goes. Nice. I didn't have to take anything apart. Just took a couple of screws out, so it'll be easy to reassemble. Very cool. The pocket clip, it's got 3 good square sides to it, only 1 screw, but it is really deep in that that G10, that overlay. Okay. Yeah, it's recessed really deep in there. Again, I would say it's not an optimum way to do that. It'd be nice to have 2 screws or get that recessed down into the titanium. But, it is in there deep. That's for sure. All right, let's try to get this right the first time. Yeah, very tight. Okay, let's get rid of that. Okay. Yeah, I mean, it makes a difference scuffing that up. And then again, dyeing it, for some reason, it opens those pores up and it, again, makes it a little more, I don't know, grippy. So this action, let me see if I can fail it. Let's whack it a few more times. All right, here we go. Yeah, no failing that. It's got a solid detent. I mean, could I lighten up that detent a little bit? Maybe. I probably could. And if I did, it'd probably be drop shut. It's just a couple of shakes now. But I'm going to call it a B plus as it sits. Pretty good. Pretty solid. Ergonomics. So oddly enough, I mean, like I say, I can feel all this. And it's there's kind of sharp edges, but it's not uncomfortable. I mean, I'm going to be clear. That's not uncomfortable at all. I notice every bit of this, but it's not uncomfortable. I think it's aiding to giving the knife a confident grip. So, there's some jimping on the back of this flipper tab here and this scallop for the index finger going forward. And so, as such, you've got not very confident, confident, and very confident. And this is way over the confidence scale. Like this grip, I'm locked in, man. I feel very confident that I could meet resistance and not run my fingers up over that and over the blade. Yeah. Feel really good about the grip on that. Let's check the clip. It's milled, so it's unique. It's not a standard clip by any means. It's over the thick stuff. Through the woods to grandmother's house we go. And I mean, it gets in there. It's not very deep carry. There's almost 3/4 of an inch sticking out there. But it's a good looking profile. Nice milled titanium pocket clip. Looks good. It's got pretty good grip on it. Let's try it in the thinner stuff. I mean, the grip here really went away. I mean, it's pretty good on this thick stuff. I mean, potentially drier grip there. Here, it's pretty loose. It's going to be the same here. Yeah, it's pretty loose. I could tighten that up, but I think I'll leave it be. And I just put a little bit of bend in this pocket clip to make it tighter. So, I mean, the pocket clip's okay. It's not a dryer clip or a tumble clip. You go tumbling around on the ground without tightening up this clip first, and this knife may not be where you left it when you go looking for it. And that's not a good thing. Safety. Let's check it. Ooh, that looks cavernous right there. But no, I'm good there. And I can't get the tip. So the clip's okay. The back's good. And the tip is good. So, I feel pretty confident I can put this in my pocket without, incidental blade or tip contact. And the clip's okay. It's definitely functional. And to be honest, all I need to do is put a little bend in it, and it would be much tighter in the pocket. I wonder if it's sharp. Surely it is. Don't call me Shirley. Yeah. I'm going to hit it just real quick with a strop. Couple of passes. Nothing major. There we go. Man, look at the curve on that blade. Pretty cool. We'll do 2 passes. And then I'm going to do a knockdown on the edge here. And then 1 more pass. Yeah, no major surgery. Just a little bit of work. And let's see what we got. Yeah, I mean, even when it runs really well, putting a strop on it can change it. I mean, transformed the blade. Yep. And stropping that night and day from, and it was crazy sharp. You saw it. It's crazy sharp without the strop. But man, the strop. And what did I do? I did 2 passes, and then across the wood, and then 1 pass. That's all I did. So three total passes, but 1 down on that wood to dislodge any little thing that was on there. And this blade is sharp all the way up to that needle tip. And that's a needle, man. Look at that thing. All right, so there it is. Hey, let's talk about price and availability on this TS153. Where can we get one? Okay, TS153. There, at the time of this video, which is a couple of weeks most likely from when you're watching it, the members are going to see it most likely the day that I film it or the day after, because the day of or the day after, I actually will upload it to YouTube, and the members get instant access. Once I do the editing and schedule the video to premiere on the channel, the members get instant access. Somebody asked me about that. That's why I'm explaining it. It's why you'll see comments on these videos, like the day that they premiere, you'll see comments that are like 2 weeks old, is because the members get to view this content as soon as I upload it. Not as soon as I upload it, like I edit it and schedule it, but that usually happens the day I upload it, or worst case, like the next day. I don't leave them sitting in that queue without being edited and scheduled. Formatted is the word I was looking for. But then as soon as they see them, they can comment on them. But if you're not a member, you won't see them until they premiere. So that explains all that. But anyways, at the time of this video, a couple of weeks ago from when you're watching this, there's 2 or 3 live auctions for this on eBay. And White Mountain Knives carries this and one that's color. So the titanium has been anodized, that blue lightning pattern. Well, the blue lightning pattern one is $100. The plain one like this one is $74. So, or $75. So with the discount code down below, DM10, you can pick this up around 68 bucks. Yep, from White Mountain Knives. Or hopefully they're still running some auctions, and you can play the auction game and maybe pick it up a little less than the $68 that White Mountain Knives is offering it for. I will say with White Mountain Knives at the $68, there's no tax on it and no shipping. Now, if you buy it at an eBay auction, there's no shipping, but typically you will pay tax on eBay now. So, yeah, so there it is. The TS153, pretty good action. I mean, and notwithstanding this is kind of odd, it's not uncomfortable. I like it, but I do think this is going to get on the purple list. I've got a few knives that I'm wanting to do purple, and this would be an easy one, man. Just pull these inserts or these overlays and dye them up and put them back on. Yep. And I think it would transform this knife to put a good deep purple on here. Not smoke on the water, but some deep purple. Anyways, I'm being foolish. Hey, appreciate you watching.